think there's a perception that musicians make a lot more money than they actually do. I think part of that is because part of the job is to create an image that's a marketable image and to look like things are happening around them in order to gain interest from the industry, to get the industry to support that feeds into your sales. If you don't have industry support, it's a lot harder to get momentum. I think. There's others who would disagree, but that's the way I've always done it, is work with bands that the industry likes. The reality is it takes a lot of money to record properly and to do videos properly. Marketing costs money. So unless you can have your own studio, but you still have to buy expensive equipment. A Pro Tools rig can cost you $10,000 on up just for the software. And that's before you get plugins. And then they change it every few years, and it's not compatible with the previous version. I mean, Apple are terrible in that way, but it's expensive. Videos can be done for little money. Juliet is also a film director and producer, and one of the early 8mm videos, she used her cell phone on her face, and her and Sean were lying in bed, and just shot the video of her singing in bed, and it was fabulous, and got 200,000 views very quickly. And that cost nothing. And she edited it on the iMac, iFilm, whatever it was at the time. So you can do clever videos like that. On the other hand, if you're bringing in a crew, they're going to need to be paid. You're going to need to rent equipment. It all costs money. Now, if you have a label deal, they're going to pay for it, but they're going to take it out of the money you get. So you don't want to spend a lot of money. Back in the day, you had to spend about $250,000 to get on MTV. They wanted mini films, but that all came out of the artist fund. Cost more than the album. Garbage were clever and did theirs for less than $100,000, but it was still very, it's expensive. One of the other things that people are unaware of are marketing costs in strange ways. For example, some late night shows charge $10,000 if you want to play on them. The U.S. pays the lowest radio rate in the industrialized world. And because of that, they cannot share in some international royalties that are paid when you get played on radio, because there's no reciprocal program in place. So the international label won't pay the Americans. And now they're trying to make it even less. And the big radio companies are fighting that being equitable. Radio doesn't have payola anymore, but you still need to pay people to help you out. It's very difficult to cover a national industry by yourself that's heavily competitive. You need to hire people who have relationships and credibility so that the radio people will even listen to the track, never mind add it. Then there's press. Press is not cheap. You can kind of do your press on your own, but you need to know how to pitch yourself, and a lot of artists don't know how to do that. We'll get into that later. But it all costs money. And this is what's upsetting about people who feel it's okay to download music for free when they love a band and they want them to continue with the music. They're not going to be able to afford to make music unless they have the financial support of their fans. So it's a catch-22. So hopefully this sheds some light on how the industry works in reality. And I hope people will see the reason to support independent artists and self-release artists. It is very important for real music and real art to survive, not be squished by a big machine, even though a big machine can be helpful in some cases. Bye, independent.